Man, oh man, the Lions lost the other day, and I've seen a lot of overreactions. We're going to talk about these overreactions. Are they actually? We're going to just get into it because I am seeing a ton, and I would love to discuss all of these topics in this video. But before we get into today's video, if you are not a subscriber, and right now I'd love to get about 40 more subscribers, we'll get to 5,500. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so. Let's get there, and with your help, it can happen. Let's get into these overreactions. I am reading articles galore and hearing responses to the Lions' loss against the Carolina Panthers as the world is ending and falling. We're the same old Lions again and everything. So we're going to talk about these responses, and I'm going to give you my opinion and what I think. First off, a lot of people are talking about that the Detroit Lions right now are the same old Lions because they lost this game. We're the same old Lions, and we're back to square one with Matt Millen and all of that lovely stuff. First off, I think that's an absolute overreaction. I do not believe just because we lost the game, we're the same old Lions. If you look across the NFL, good teams will lose games, and out of nowhere, teams will get blown out. We've seen the Minnesota Vikings get blown out against the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen, hell, they got blown out in the first half against the Colts game. We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs near lose to the Houston Texans. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the NFL. So I think for the Lions, even though we lost, it was a bad loss. We're talking about 320 yards rushing on our defense. A lot of bad things occurred. I don't think just because you get blown out in a game, it's the same old Lions. We got blown out even to the New England Patriots this year. We've been blown out before because that's the NFL. The NFL is not for long. Teams that are bad can play good. Teams that are good can play bad. That is just the parity in this league. I do not believe because of one loss that it's automatically same old Lions. I do not believe that's the case. I think that's an overreaction. But with that said, if that's how you feel, I'm not going to tell you to feel any different because you have the right to believe and think whatever you want to think. From my personal opinion, I just think it's an overreaction to go from the Lions are a playoff team, we're a top 5 team, to lose, and then now we're the worst team in the NFL. We can't really have it both ways. You're either a good team or you're not a good team. You can't be a good team like, oh, we're winning all these games, and then automatically we go from that to the worst team in the NFL. I think that's us being upset and 100% right. I think a lot of us can be upset about it, but at the same time, this is a pretty good team still. I believe that absolutely. I think we're a team that can compete with anybody, and we can still lose a game here and there like we just did because that's the National Football League. We still got 2 games left, and even though that we lost this game, I'm still proud of how the season has gone because I thought we'd win 7 to 8 games when the season started, and we're at 7 now with 2 games to go. So I'd love to make the playoffs. I'd love to get that 9th win. I think that would be fantastic. So I do not believe that's the case. A lot of other things came out. Was Jameson Williams a bust? I find this one really, really, really intriguing. I think that's an absolute overreaction. First off, it's not his fault with the lack of targets. Remember, he's getting a specific amount of snaps each game. So it's not like he can just go out there and play every snap. That's the coaching staff, giving him limited snaps due to his injury. I think he needs to get more snaps. I think he gets more targets. I'm very upset. I don't want to say very upset, but I'm irritated with the lack of targets and snaps he had last week, but that's not his fault. You got to throw him the football. You got to put him on the field. He's irritated about it. He did a tweet about it. Someone tweeted him, and he liked it. He's irritated, as we all are. But a bust? Come on, guys. We gotta get away from the idea. My belief is we gotta get away from the idea if Something doesn't go right one game, a player's a bust. Last year, Penei Sewell was a bust, a bust, a bust, a bust. I heard a lot. This year, Aiden Hutchinson is a bust, a bust, a bust. Now it's Jameson Williams. Just because something doesn't go right doesn't make the player a bust. It does not happen. And even if he doesn't come out and blow the world off in one game or in a couple games, doesn't make him a bust. Amon-Ra St. Brown last year, it took him till half the season to get going. It takes some time for players to get going. And this guy didn't have training camp. He's on limited snaps, and he's not getting targeted enough. So there's nothing you can do about that. So no, he's not a bust. The Lions, another overreaction, I think, is the Lions are completely eliminated. It's over from the playoffs. That's just not true. We're not eliminated yet. Actually, the Seahawks lost. The Giants lost. The Commanders lost. The Lions lost. All the Lions got to do right now is to win on Sunday against the Chicago Bears, and the Commanders and Seahawks lose, and we're already control our own destiny. Nothing has really changed except for the Packers won. And they got to face the Minnesota Vikings. And either way, if the Lions win out, you're in the Commanders and Seahawks lose, it doesn't matter really what the Packers do because we face the Packers. So it's not over. It's just one game. It's one bad game. We've had a lot of good games in the last 8 weeks. 7 out of the 8 games have been good games. Yes, we lost to the Bills, but there was still a good game. They won the rest, and then this is just the one bad game. Every team is going to have a bad game. We're not out of the playoffs. We still got to fight. We still got to play. We still got to win, and I think they're going to come out on Sunday and just absolutely – the crowd's going to be on fire. The players are going to be on fire, and they're going to be going after it hard freaking core. I think the Lions will win the game. I'm not going to give you a prediction yet. I got to make a prediction video and all that lovely stuff, but I think they're going to come out very, very strong. Very strong on Sunday. Home game, last home game of the year. Best believe it's going to be hype. Best believe it's going to be fun. And if you're going to a game, this would probably be the game you want to go to of the whole year. It's going to be a fun game for sure. But the Lions got to win, no doubt about it. Also, overreaction is since the Lions are not picking in the top 5 right now, the Lions are not going to get a good player in the draft. Now, am I upset we're looking like we're not going to get Jalen Carter or Will Anderson? Yeah, of course. I mean, we're talking about blue chip players, but doesn't mean we're not going to get a good player. Brad Holmes has been great with the draft. Brad Holmes can find talent. Even though I want a said player really, really bad, it doesn't mean we're not going to get another good player. You just got to have a good GM. A good GM can get it done for you. Yes, it does absolutely help, and that's why you want better draft spot to be higher in the draft, 100%. That's why I wanted it. But if you have a good GM, they can still find talent. So no, just because we are picking now at 7 right now as we speak right now, 2 games left, doesn't mean we're not going to get a premium player. I think Brad Holmes is magic. I think he can get it done. I think we've seen his draft so far to say, yeah, he's pretty good. In Brad Holmes, I trust. That is now my mantra. In Brad Holmes, I trust. The dude is good at the draft. So whoever he gets, I'm fully on board. I'm going to support 100%, even if it may not be a guy I specifically want. Because guess what? I'm not the GM Brad Holmes is. And right now, I'm pretty happy with what he's done. And it's not just players in the first. We're talking 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. That's what it's all about, is those players. So there's going to be a lot of talent there if you're sitting at 7. You got Keely Ringo, who I think the Lions should take. Miles Murphy potentially could be there, who I absolutely love. Brian Breezy, great defensive tackle. They're going to be there. There's going to be talent there for sure. So I have no problem. And who cares about that 18th pick? I don't even care about that right now. I want to make the playoffs. I don't care. Like, that means nothing to me, and I'm very confident if Brad Holmes wants a said player, he'll draft him, or you move up in the draft or move back in the draft. I'm not even thinking about that pick right now because we're thinking playoffs. Ask me that in 2 weeks, and then we'll talk at that point. But right now, I'm not too worried about that. Folks, we've got a lot of videos coming up. We got videos every single day. We got the live stream tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down Lions and Bears. I'm not going to get into the Panthers stuff anymore. That's past tense. We're getting on to the Bears. That's what we're doing on here. So get ready for that. And a post-game show. We'll get Herman on, Herman Moore. We'll talk about it. We'll have some fun and get after it. With that said, folks, adios.
Perfect.